Hi everyone, it's Lisa Brown with InkandInspirations.com. Thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, we're going to be making this beautiful card with a watercolor background using the Sailing Home bundle, which includes this stamp set and coordinating dies. And it's just a beautiful set with some beautiful dies, and I wanted to do it and try it with a watercolor background. Now this is some of our new watercolor paper. It's 100% cotton, and it's beautiful and smooth and easy to work with. And so we're going to get started by working with that watercolor piece. So I have a piece that is cut 3 by 4, and I'm going to get a piece of scrap paper to protect my work surface here. Okay, and so I wanted to give the illusion of a sunset. So I have 3 colors: Night of Navy for the ocean or the water, lake, whatever, Mango Melody, and I pulled Cajun Craze, but I want pumpkin pie, okay? And so I have an aqua painter here with some water in the well. It's got a brush tip, and you squeeze down to bring the water into the brush tip, and then you refill it as needed. Comes in sets of 2 in our annual catalog. And I'm going to start with the water first. So I'm going to use Night of Navy, and what I've done here to prepare is I've taken some of my ink refill and put a couple of drops there, and I don't want to get too dark of a color, so I'm going to squeeze some water first and just kind of mix this around. And what I love about this is no 2 pieces come out alike. So it's very artsy, okay? And so I just start applying. And what I have found I love with this is that even with just using this one ink color, I'm going to get varying shades of blue. And I love that. And it's depending on how much water I apply, how many times I go over it, okay? So you can just play with it to get the look you want. I'm trying to go out to the edge, and I'm doing not a straight landscape line there to give the illusion of the ocean or the lake, whatever body of water you'd like. We're going to have a sailboat, and I'm just going to get a little bit more ink there and add a little bit more dark. And the only thing with this type of technique and using this on a card is that you would need to wait for this to dry before finishing. Now, to speed up the process a bit, I have recreated this piece already that I'm going to use to complete the card. But if you wanted to do it a little quicker, you could use your heat tool to dry, okay? But I'm just going to let this one dry and make another card later. But now I've got the ocean pretty much like I want it. So I'm going to close this Night of Navy, and I'm going to get my little artsy rag here and squeeze the water down to the brush tip and clean it off, okay, so that we can go to the next color. And what you do, it's kind of hard to tell with my inky rag here, but you squeeze it and clean until it runs clear, all right? And so I'm going to test it here, and that looks fine. And next I'm going to take pumpkin pie. I have some ink refill already in the lid here, and I'm just going to take it and start going along the edge here. And if it overlaps a little bit, it's okay. I'm just trying to follow that curve and make this sky just really pretty. I probably could have added more colors, but I didn't. I'm just using the 2. I've noticed sunsets here lately in the Ozarks have lots of pinks in them, so I might play with that at some point. But right now, I was really drawn to the pumpkin and the mango for the sunset, so that's what I went with. And I see a little bit of paper texture there. Okay, there we go. All right, so that's pretty. Now I'm going to take Mango Melody. Now the color is so similar, I'm not going to rinse the brush tip like I did before. I'm just going to brush off, and you can see that it's clear there. I wouldn't have wanted to try that with the Night of Navy going to the pumpkin pie because I probably would have had a big mess. All right, here again I have Mango Melody Refill. I'm going to pick some of that up and then just kind of blend that in, and I do kind of overlap with the pumpkin pie here. So I'm just going to give it a good color wash. And this is so fun to do. And it makes such a pretty piece. I do hope you try it. And really try this new watercolor paper. It really is different, and I guess, you know, has a smoother surface. Okay, I'm going to leave that. I want it varying shades. Okay, that's going to dry, and I will use that on another project. Okay, so I'm going to move that out of the way, and I'm going to bring in the piece that I've done previously, and you can see that there. Okay, so let me get my card base, which is Night of Navy. Now I cut mine 4 1/4 by 11, and this is going to make it easier for me to photograph if I want to or display it tent style that way. Okay, but you can just the same cut it 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 and put the fold here, and it would be the same dimensions for the rest of the card pieces. Okay, now I have a piece of Mango Melody, and this piece is cut at 3 1/2 by 4 1/2. That's going to layer there. And then another piece of Night of Navy, that's 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. And then our watercolor piece is going to sit over top of that. See how pretty that looks? All right, let's go ahead and get these together. I'm going to get my sample where I can see it. Let's layer this Night of Navy over top. Okay, and then I'll take the watercolor piece, which is nice and dry. I did it several days ago, but really a few hours it would probably be okay, maybe even a few minutes. I just know I prepped this to do this video for you, and I left it for a few days, so it is good and dry. Okay, all right, so there we have that. And now I have already cut the sentiment with this label die. This stitch label die is within this set of dies that coordinates with the set. That's going to go here, okay? And I think I can go ahead and put that right over top, keep me from misplacing it. And I'm going to go to the edge. Let's do this. I can do this. And there's one other thing I could have done first, and I probably should have, but I'm going to go with it like this. I want to stamp some birds. There's some birds in flight that I'm going to do in black, like a silhouette, these here. But this is flat enough. I think I'm going to be good to go. So let me go ahead and ink those up. Ideally, I would have stamped this before I ever layered this up, okay? So ink, check, and bam. It's okay. All right. Okay, so I have a little bit of ghosting there, but I'm not going to worry about it. I got a little bit too energetic in my inking up the stamp. Okay, so now I have a sailboat that's already die cut. I stamped it in Memento black ink because I'm going to use some Stampin' Blends on this, and I'm using all light colors: light soft suede, light crumb cake, light Night of Navy, light balmy breeze. Okay, and so first I took my light soft suede and I went over the sail because I didn't want to leave it just white, and I went over these shaded areas a little bit along the edge. Okay, now I'm going to take my crumb cake and just kind of color in just a little bit. I try to leave a little bit of white. Now I'm going to take my light Balmy Breeze and color the boat. I thought since this was a blue tone, to match the Night of Navy base, it would look good. And then I've taken my light Night of Navy for the water beneath here, just like that. Okay? Now, I'm going to strategically place this so that it covers that little bit of ink, okay? So, I'm telling you, I can always find a way to fix it. All right, so this is popped up with Stampin' Dimensionals. So I'm going to put here and maybe one more. I hear someone driving up. It's probably my fisher persons coming in from the river. Okay, I'm going to put that there just like that. That'll be fine. Then I can take the sentiment and go ahead and apply it just like that. Okay, so there is our card for today. I hope you enjoyed that. Please give this a try with the watercolor paper. Try that new watercolor paper. It's beautiful. And those colors, just give it a go. Play around with your colors for your sunsets, and I'd love to hear how it turns out. Thank you so much for joining me. You can visit my online store to get these products. Visit inkandinspirations.com and click on Shop Now. If I can help you, please let me know, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.